Hello and welcome to our review for Belmo Ball Lucky number 7, the Storm Journey. The Journey releases on November 17th, and I'll have plenty of comparisons coming soon, so be good to yourself and check them all out. Before we get started, big shout out and thanks as always to Royal Crest Lanes. They're a big part of bringing these videos to you. All it takes is a text and we have everything we need. Also, my code ROSEDOLL10 will get you 10% off your order at checkout anytime you make a purchase from CoolWick, and if you check the description, you'll find a bunch of helpful links and information any way you want it, including our personal specs, a discount code for custom ball cups and spinners through Scarred Prints, even a discount code for a new affiliation with Free Spirits, which features non-alcoholic replacements for things like whiskey, tequila, and gin for those looking or needing to cut back on and or quit drinking, and finally a link to buy a journey at Mart. I do receive a 5% commission on all sales through the link. We're on the Kegel Chromium lane condition as usual. It's a challenge pattern at just under a 7-to-1 ratio, 42 feet long, 25.5 mils, so it's heavy side to medium for both volume and length, not as easy as a house shot, but not as punishing as a sport pattern. As I mentioned, the Journey is Belmo Ball number 7 and features an exciting combination on paper. First though, I do have to mention the scent. Kiwi Cantaloupe is possibly the new goat scent. It definitely doesn't smell like wine or cheap perfume. It's like tropical bubblicious. It's just fantastic. The Fate I thought was quietly one of the best balls in the lineup. It was exceptionally versatile. It managed to be clean but get traction and be defined but controllable on the back end. You could make it sharp or you could make it smooth. It seemed to really excel on a lot of different things. Unfortunately, it's no longer with us, being recently discontinued, and also unfortunately I think a lot of people either didn't understand the ball or just passed on it because of the price tag. The Journey shares the F8 core with the Fate, which comes in at a medium 252 RG and a high 053 differential in 15 pounds. The Journey is also a Pearl, but the exciting twist here is that we're getting to see the Pearl version of the Phase 2 cover for the first time on anything, stateside or international. Now, a couple international balls featured TX16 Hybrid, the Phase G and Dark Phase, but after all these years we get to see it in Pearl form. Now, I have a Phase G and had thought with my limited experience that the relationship between the cover types was like NEX. NEX Solid is very strong and aggressive, but the Pearl and Hybrid versions are quite a bit weaker, albeit familiar feeling. The Phase G shares a lot in common with the Phase 2, it's just about an arrow weaker. Now, the F8 core is rolly and extremely stable without being early, heavy rolling, or really revving much if at all. And at first glance, the TX16 Pearl cover is clean and responsive, while the total package retains that Fate ambiguity and versatility of reaction, but in a somewhat different look, so stay a while and we'll break the reaction down. To get started with Angel, we resurfaced her ball down to 1000 grit and finished it with React-A-Scuff to get it back up to a 3000-ish grit sheen. Because this always comes up, we recommend resetting the factory surface on every ball no matter what it is or which company the ball comes from. People will say we should throw the balls the way the manufacturer intends, but what the manufacturer intends is for the balls to look pretty on the wall in the shop. And a lot of pro shops reset or change the surface of the ball before it hits the wall or gets into your hands anyway, plus factory surfaces can be inconsistent, so changing it yourself personalizes it for your game and gives you a known and consistent starting point so you can more accurately judge the ball reaction. Moving along, this might be one of the best looking balls I've ever seen visually. The colors pop and go together extremely well, so there's visual intrigue, but without the clutter, meaning that the colors swirling is pleasant for those who like brighter or more vibrant colors, but it's not distracting for those who don't. A few quick reaction comparisons would be Fate, that's more tumbly and quicker. The Fate was very round and rolly, almost like a stronger IQ Ruby type of look, but the Journey looks a lot more like the Frantic, going all the way back to the Carrot Ball from Pete Weber's infamous Who Do You Think You Are, I Am moment, or like a more stable Duo, or a Pearl Summit, Pearl Nova, etc. for more recent comparisons. Now, even with the little bit of surface on it, it's still pretty shockingly clean for her, and this is a great lesson in adjusting, by the way. If she got too firm with it, it'd flutter a little, but if she just relaxed and made a nice and easy shot, she didn't have to fight it for length, and it'd just settle right into the pocket. You can see that on several of these shots, she'd get a little fast with one, and it'd be slow getting back, and then the very next shot, she'd soften up a little, and it'd pop right in there. The ease of length might be a little concerning to some of you, but remember, we're bowling in a challenge pattern. There is oil to the outside. Most house shots are shorter and drier than this as well, so if you watch other reviewers like Darren Tang, Lewis Napolis or the Hype's Charles Hutcherson, that's a little closer to most people's typical league conditions. We use this condition because everything hooks on a house shot, which makes it harder to see the ball-to-ball differences. Moving to be on the left side, I also reset my surface, though I did polish it back up. Down to 1,000, then finish lightly with step 2 to give you a shiny look. I do also throw it here at 2,000 grit in a minute, so don't go anywhere yet. To reiterate an earlier comparison, this reminds me a ton of the Summit, just obviously weaker, cleaner, and sharper. The reaction shape, though, is extremely similar, and I'll have that comparison in a minute here too, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's solid with the shine on it, a little too clean and sensitive for my liking, but the shape offsets that somewhat because it is clean and it is sharp, but the lack of revving and the tumbly shape balances that friction response. I have a lot of control over the shape based on what I do with my hand, and like Angel with my speed. Again, it's very Fate-ish, but I think those that found the Fate too weak or lazy get a different twist with this one because it's visibly sharper. The Fate gets traction earlier due to the stronger cover in REX, but it's also slower, and I think that gave some people issues. Where the Fate was a stronger IQ Ruby type of look, the Journey is a stronger Hustle M&M type of look. The Journey got a little too late from the deeper zone with the shine on it, so I've started adding surface and getting more video. As the cleaner my release gets, the more sensitive shine makes the ball reaction, so I've been favoring surface more and more anyway. To tag team this with my TNT Infused review and reference other recent videos as far as this concept goes, TX16 is a medium strong cover formula, so what you're seeing here with the Journey is an earlier and smoother but very similar ball reaction at 2000 grit. Stronger covers will still get plenty of traction, even shiny, and changing surface mostly adjusts shape, though it does of course add traction the duller you make it, while medium strength to weaker covers like is on the Infused have significant traction differences dull versus shiny. I do expand more on that in the Infused review. The major difference here is that the ball reaction is just a little more controllable. I get a little more blend both front to back and side to side. Notably, the ball holds better on misses in and recovers better from misses out unless they're egregious like a few of these. And the smoother ball reaction also increases my carry percentage because the ball has a smoother transition from the oil to the dry, which helps to retain a little more energy. Getting into the comparisons, I know there's plenty of stuff you want to see, namely the Fate. That will come in a separate video. One of our review rules is to compare with something recent or at least still in production from the same brand, so we'll go with a weaker ball in the IQ Ruby for Angel, and I'll compare to the Summit after that. There's a lot of familiarity here, but the Ruby has the earlier core, while the Journey has the stronger cover. The Ruby is a little earlier but smoother, while the Journey, of course, is a little longer but also sharper. The Ruby is a little extra strong for R2S Pearl, so it might actually be closer to the Journey than it appears on paper. She's playing virtually the same place on the lane, and I don't have to say too much here because I think the contrast between the two balls visually is pretty accurate to the on-lane feel. Sometimes there are extra nuances that you feel when throwing a ball that aren't represented or don't show up well on video. That's why I talk so much. But I think in this case, the differences and similarities are pretty visible. Looking at the Summit with me, the similarity of shape is starkly apparent and the first thing that stands out. They're absolutely on top of each other with the reaction shape. The Summit is definitely the earlier, stronger, and smoother ball though, so I'm pretty excited about the possibilities here because I throw the Summit constantly, but sometimes it's just too much ball. There was a lot of buzz about the cover when it released too because this is TX23 hybrid, so an updated or stronger version of TX16 in hybrid form. So these two balls have the same base cover formula, and I can definitely feel and see that in the reaction. The Summit has a moderately stronger core as well, and the Journey to me feels like a perfect straight step down. I feel like the Journey is better with the surface on it rather than the shine. Same goes for the Summit, but I'm a lefty, so surface is love, surface is life. The point though is that if you have a Summit and like it but want to step down, get a Journey, drill it and surface it just the same way to create a baby Summit. The party's over for now, but we're both hopelessly in love with the Journey, and I'll have plenty of comparison videos coming in the next couple weeks. Once again, the Journey releases on November 17th, so escape to Bowler's Mart to get any of the balls in this video ordered for you. Links are in the description, and of course, remember me by using my code ROSEDOLL10 to get 10% off your order at checkout at CoolWick. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.